Okay, it's the final episode of The Traitors, and we start off where they left off, where someone was getting murdered. It ended up being Mark. And Mora kept saying it was going to be her. I don't know why she thought that, but she kept saying it's going to be her. But it was Mark. It was very dramatic. So Eric's the first one in for breakfast, and then Mora comes in, and they're both talking about how they've never won anything. Well, yeah, and then Rob comes in talking about how they all three need to stick together. Johnny comes in, and Tara came in after him. No discussion. It was just a lot of like in their confessional saying how they can't believe that they're still here. Alan comes in to um, drop a hint to the next challenge, the last challenge. So after everyone kind of disperses and from breakfast and are in the castle talking about plans, Tara and Johnny were talking. And they were like, "I think we need to pull Mora and talk to her," which you do. So they go get Mora, and Rob isn't a bit worried when they take Mora off to talk. Or I think, well, Johnny stayed, but when Tara takes Mora off to talk, Rob is not a bit worried because he knows he has Mora in his pocket. So Tara's talking to Mora, and it looks like she's making progress, but and Johnny when they so then Rob and not Rob not Johnny but Rob and Eric go off into the kitchen or whatever, and Eric goes, "Do you think they're trying to flip her or something?" "Yeah, of course they're trying to flip her, Eric." So the challenge starts, and it's a it's a challenge where they have to drop something in a helicopter. I mean, the challenges are just side note for me, but Rob and Mora go into the helicopter, and I think they get all the money. On the ride back was funny because Tara was she was asking Eric what he thought about like Mora and stuff like that, and he was just stuttering. It was so obvious. This was the look they had on their faces when he started talking. Moore and Rob were in the other car, and I can't even remember what they were talking about, but I'm sure Moore was telling Rob he's a faithful. So they get back to the castle, and Tara is talking to Moore again, which she should be working on her. But the thing is, Rob usually talks to her last, and that's all that matters. She's so confused. I don't know why kept saying she kept saying Rob can't. It can't be Rob. It can't be Rob. Like it could be anybody. Like I don't. So it's Rob, Mora, and Eric sitting there, and Mora was telling Eric she knows it's not him, and she trusts him and all that. And Rob, this is the first time I think. Well, he said he was a little nervous because he knew that Mora was lying to Eric because they're going to get him out because she wants him out next. So he was worried because he was worried that he thought she could possibly be lying to him. But I mean, come on, we know she. Time for the round table. Alan walks in. So Johnny starts and he's telling them that with him and Tara, they're the only group. Tara, I don't know, why I said it like that, probably because of Alan. But anyway, um, that they were looking at the three of them, which is Eric, Rob, and Mora. But then Johnny tells Mora that he doesn't think it's her at all. And so he said, he thinks it's who it is, which is Rob and Eric. Rob looked a little worried. So they both kind of go in on Eric. So Johnny was trying to defend himself, but he was not Johnny, but Eric was trying to defend himself. He was not doing a good job at all. And also Tara said she was like, when we were in the car, I was pressing you about names. And then she was like, you threw out Mora's name. But I at least the way they showed us, he didn't throw it out. She asked him what he thought about Mora, and he was like, "Yeah," he just agreed. So, but she made it seem like he brought her name up. Now, Rob, of course, this is smart. He always makes sure he's the last one to speak. And here he was speaking about how like wouldn't it be brilliant if Alan picked one of the two, Tara and Johnny, as traitors, and then left the other one a faithful, and then they had to keep the secret, which this is pretty good actually. And they would have to keep a secret. It's like because that'd be good TV. And then one of them recruited the other, and then here they are. That was the argument Rob presented, which was actually a pretty good argument. And it doesn't seem to take much to convince more. So, so then Alan walks in. They all vote, and of course, they vote Johnny out. I hate they don't get to say whether they're a faithful or a traitor. That, ugh. Oh, the other thing, before Rob voted, he was like, before they voted, after he finished his speech, he was like, I love you all. And I'm like, Rob doesn't even talk like that. Like, he is playing them. So anyway, afterwards, Robin Moore in the room, and he like grabs her face and he's like, we're gonna win this game again, playing up because he knows Moore likes him. And then he picks her up and swings her around. Man, he played her like a fiddle. Oh, and yeah, they didn't all vote for Johnny. Of course, Tara didn't. But what led up to this scene, by the way, was he was telling her they need to vote Tara out, and she didn't want to. And he was like, "It's Tara," and she said, "Well, promise me you'll vote for Eric after Tara." So Eric and Maura are sitting there, and Tara comes in. And she's like, "I'm telling you, it's not me." And then Rob comes in, and Eric goes out with Rob. They're talking about the plan to get out, and Rob says, "Yeah, we'll get out Tara, and then we'll throw green so it can be over, and they will be the last two traders, and Mora will get nothing." Tara's last ditch effort to Mora, which goes on deaf ears pretty much. And now it's time to vote. Mora goes first, and of course, or he throws Mora's pouch in first, and of course, it's red, which means they want to vote again or banish. When Tara sees the red, she's like, "Yes." She thinks Mora's on her wave. Eric's is red, Rob's is red, and Tara's. They all vote for Tara. Tara votes for Eric. So Tara leaves. So this was the plan, right? Time to vote. Time to throw green. So I mean they won, right? Eric throws green because he says he trusts them all. Mora throws red, and they really don't care, or Eric really doesn't care because he doesn't think it matters at this point. He just thinks they won. Look at him. Look at Rob. Rob looking at him. Mora's looking like something's up. So then they throw again, and Rob throws red. So that means they want to banish. And there's no reason for Rob to banish because they won, right? Unless he wants to get Eric out and just have all the money to himself. Eric's face. Mora's still confused. Hmm. So they vote again, and Eric's like, okay, I'll vote Rob. And he had a speech too before they voted. He was like, I want to tomorrow. He was like, I want you to think about why something about the other person, meaning he's trying to get her to vote for Rob. Rob votes Eric. Of course, Mora votes Eric. So he's gone. Now it's time for them to vote. And Mora's like, she's like, I am, or not vote, but they have to reveal whether or not they're a faithful or a traitor. And Mora tried to joke, and she was trying to make Rob think she was going to say she's a traitor. And then this is the face Rob makes, knowing good and well she's not a traitor. This is wild. She tells him, and she's just like, oh, I'm a faithful. And she just thinks they just won that money. Ooh, girl. She's waiting on Rob's answer. He tells her, he's like, I haven't always have been a traitor. She said she was looking at him like that because she thought he was going to say he was joking. He's like, nope. Her facial expressions were, she was like, you're never going to get a girlfriend after this. You're such a good liar. And somebody said that's why Mora couldn't win because she was too busy thinking about being Rob's girlfriend. I like Mora though, but girl, I think Rob is the reason he won, but Mora's second, a close second. Even Alan was like, ooh, girl. Rob started talking to her. She's like, don't talk. Just don't talk. She was so mad. She finally got a grip on it. She was like, well played. And there's Rob celebrating. And I got to say, I like it when the traders win. I just do. But yeah, that was it for the season. And then the reunion followed, which the reunion, I'm going to do that. But the reunion should have been two parts. I don't understand why it didn't give what it needed to give as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, come back for the reunion review.